Hello guys, welcome back to our channel. We are Coral Man again, Ming Fan and mine. Well, this is one of the video in our book review series of 2020. In our last analysis of the Born a Crime, we discussed various aspects of the author's own life, and he is an ordinary man with an extraordinary story. So, as you know, the book accentuates on racism, on the black and the white people. And oddly and accidentally, this book I want to introduce you today have the same topic with Born a Crime, but a completely different message. So this time, we'd like to send you a very interesting book that we should put a lot of enthusiasm on it. So let's start. So let me start today's review with a quote. You are kind, you are smart, you are important. You can pause the video and think of what comes to your mind after reading the sentence. This is a sight of the black nanny whispered to a white kid sitting on her lap, holding her small hands and looking straight at the pupil. Nanny Evelyn Clark. She instilled the courage, the confidence in the baby. And she wanted her to keep in mind that she was kind, she was smart, she was important, so that she can cleave her way through the obstacle in her life.
Well, the book I'd like to introduce you guys today is The Help, a 2009 novel by American author Kathryn Stockett. She began writing her first novel after the September 11 attacks. It took her 5 years to complete and was rejected by 60 literary agents. Over a period of 3 years before her work was accepted to release, The Help has since been published in 35 countries and 3 languages. As of August 2011, it has sold 7 million copies in print and audio editions and spent more than 10 weeks on the New York Times bestseller list. Even though The Help is fiction, I really enjoy learning. Actually, after reading about the author, that Stockett grew in Jackson, Mississippi and had met herself growing up, I have impression that the author seems to be a lost resemblance with Skeeter, main character, who was a white journalist growing up with a black mate. She is inspired by the treatment of the color happening in both her own and her friend's households. She begins to read to write. So now, I'd like to give you some more detail about the content. Here we have 3 ordinary women. First, Miss Skeeter, Evelyn, and Minnie, who are about to take one extraordinary step. A 22-year-old Skeeter has just returned home after graduating from Ole Miss. She may have a degree in journalism, but it is 1962 Mississippi, and her mother will not be happy till Skeeter gets married. Skeeter would normally find solace with her beloved mate Constantine, the black-mate woman who raised her. But Constantine has disappeared, and no one will tell Skeeter where she has gone. Evelyn is a black-mate, a wise, regal woman raising her 17 white child. Something has shifted inside her after the loss of her own son. She is devoted to the little girl she looks after, though she knows both their hearts may be broken. Minnie, Evelyn's best friend, is short, fat, and perhaps the sexiest woman in Mississippi. She can cook like nobody's business, but she can't mind her tongue, so she's lost yet another yard. Minnie finally finds a position working for someone too new to know her reputation. Seemingly as different from one another as can be, the women will nonetheless come together for a clandestine project, a book that will put them all at risk. And why? Through the message conveyed in the book, they want to denounce profoundly racism in this period, which made lives much more effective.
Well, as my view, the conclusion is perfect because it doesn't fall into a trap that many stories have, like the happy ending 100%, good always beat evil. But let's be realistic. These miracles rarely happen in reality, right? So, at the end of this story, there's still a lot of interesting. Black people are still being treated badly. The maid is fired because of the book, and after all, they have grown and changed through the process of psychological development from start to finish, and they find themselves a lot of courage and bravery. So that is what really matter. That is what importance. So if I have a chance to change the story, the ending of the story, maybe I want the main character will not be fired. Abeline will continue to raise her children. So the details seem trivial, but that is important because it shows a new perception of the white about the black, and that the white are in some way they're aware of their mistake and they stick up for themselves. Or perhaps one book is never enough to change the whole system which has been existed in their mind for centuries. So, and move on to the next part. I talk about some of my personal reading experience. That's something I particularly noticed of the book. In general, what I especially adore is the way to express the friendship that goes against the norm of the society at that times. That the black people had animosity toward the white. Sometimes they equate all the white as short-sighted, as the racist, and the white treat the black terribly. And these details are delivered throughout the story novel. So, in two different extremes, they seem to be, other as an enemy. However, with sympathy and love, there was many uncanny friendship blossomed. Like the white girl grew up with the love and the protection of the black servant, and the black servant stand up to protect themselves, thanks to the white girl. Both of them are giving and receiving love. So in this story, the author didn't describe the one-side story. That she also, through the viewpoint of the white, exposed their vulnerable side in everyone, even the evilest. So in addition, I particularly like the way the author ironically depict the racist. Like the white can condemn the black terribly, but they always pretend to do charity for African children. And that detail just shows the two-faced and the brazen lady, which is a sarcastic symbol of the novel. So Meng, how do you feel after you read in the book? Do you think like I am?
Yeah, I really felt a connection with each of the characters. You get to know them from their point of view, even though the story is through Miss Kitter's mindset. For most of the novel, Stockett provides insight into the brain and life both of Minnie and Abeline. However, what I pay more attention in this novel, there are several white men with important speaking roles, but only two black men, including a preacher, who have much to say. I don't know whether the author pulls strings for another intention with her novel, or some underlying message that she wants us to discover ourselves. Anyway, the story is strong and really touches something deep inside me. I could so relate to the motherly love from Constantine. to Skeeter. See that pain in the triangle between Eileen and Maybelline and Elizabeth. Feel exasperation of Minnie towards Selena. And understand the complexity of good and bad, the love and hate, the fear and security. Stop can capture all these emotions.
While although the movie stayed true to the original ideas of the book on almost every possible level, but the book was told through the scope of Evelyn, that her thought and her attitude toward other characters and about the society that time was much more obvious, is harsher with a refreshing honesty, and that therefore evoke much more sympathy. Comparing to the movie, and especially thanks to the unpretentious voice of the author, that you can see yourself in it, you be a part of it. So in conclusions, I hold a firm belief that the book is truly a worthwhile reading experience, and maybe would never stop recommending this book to you because it really deserves a place in your bookshelf.
Yes, absolutely. I totally agree. I will read it again and again, even though it was over 500 pages. That is all what we want to share with you today. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Click on the bell beside to receive all cute classes related videos.